Good evening, members of the faculty, parents, and students. Welcome to the 2025 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. We are gathered here to formally recognize those students who have been selected by the faculty of our school for successfully completing their candidacy and are being inducted as new members of our National Honor Society chapter. For current members and those former members who may be among our guests, we hope this will serve to remind you of the standards of excellence you too are charged with maintaining as members of the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition program. In addition to the strong academic records which establish the eligibility for membership, our chapter members are leaders in many student organizations, and we serve our school and community through many activities. We are proud of this record of accomplishment and welcome these new members who bring new energy in support of our continuing work as NHS members. It is at this time that we proclaim to all in attendance that membership in the Laverne chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by these candidates through the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities that serve as standards for the society. We will now review these qualities for the candidates. We begin by hearing about the 4 pillars: scholarship, service, leadership, and character, from Hannah Woodley.
Thank you, Hannah. Tonight, we will start with our first pillar, scholarship. Scholarship denotes a commitment to learning, a student who is willing to spend hours in reading and studying, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for human education only ends with the end of life. Knowledge is one of the great elements in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, the torch guiding us to understanding the present, and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. Our second pillar is service. Service can be established in the routine of a day's work where many opportunities arise to help others, both at school and in the community. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or public recognition is the quality we seek in our membership and promote for the entire student body. We are committed to volunteering our time and talents to the creation of a better tomorrow. The third pillar is leadership. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. It is taking initiative in the classroom and in the school activities. The real leader strives to train and aid others to reach their common goals of success. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interest for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a school, community, or nation, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a meaningful and substantive charge to each of our members. The final pillar is character. Character is the force within the individual that distinguishes each person from others. It creates for each of us our individuality, our goodness. It is that without which no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and, once developed, grows steadily within. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant thought and action, the daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others, to be rather than to be seen. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example that we value character. Hannah Kempema will now lead our new members in the National Honor Society Pledge.
Thank you, Hannah. At this time, will the new inductees please rise? Raise your right hand and repeat the pledge. The audience can follow the text as printed in your program. Please join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands and will maintain and encourage the high standards of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Inductees, please be seated. At this time, Anna Bank and Julia Beyer will lead the induction ceremony for the new members.
At this time, each new member will receive their National Honor Society pin, membership card, and sign the membership book. As you may have read in the program, we have several teachers joining us this evening to present the new members with their pins. Each inductee selected one teacher that has made an impact on their educational journey at Laverne Public Schools. We will begin with our 11th grade inductees and then our 12th grade inductees. Let us begin.
Asher Barron is the son of TJ and Jennifer Barron. This evening, Asher will be pinned by Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber teaches 9th grade science and is also the JV boys basketball coach. When Mr. Weber was asked to share a bit about Asher, he stated, "Asher is an exceptional person with high-quality traits. His kindness, understanding, and ability to listen and implement will continue to set him up for success and be a leader for his community. His caring heart for others runs deep and shows up in his generosity each day in thankfulness and willingness to help. He listens to everyone and works through all of the struggles that are either focused on him or the situation at hand to improve the quality of a day for everyone involved. He pushes himself to be better every day, and it shows by his example he sets for those around him, which will and has made him a great leader in both the classroom and his extracurriculars."
Macy Edstrom is the daughter of Eric and Monica Edstrom. This evening, Macy will be pinned by Mrs. Thorson. Mrs. Thorson teaches Spanish 1 through 3 and AP Spanish. Mrs. Thorson stated the following about Macy. "It is my pleasure to recognize Macy as a deserving inductee to the National Honor Society. Macy consistently demonstrates a strong commitment to scholarship by setting high standards for herself and applying genuine effort in every situation. She leads through her example, quietly, confidently, and with integrity, showing others what it means to be thoughtful, prepared, and engaged. Macy is never afraid to ask questions or seek clarification, showing maturity and self-advocacy. She works well with all kinds of people and brings a positive, open spirit to collaborative settings. Beyond the classroom, her involvement in her school, church, and community shows her dedication to service and a strong character. Macy is truly a student who uplifts those around her, and it is a privilege to work with her each day."
Ben Harquist is the son of Jeff and Sarah Harquist. This evening, Ben will be pinned by Mr. Burkhorst. Mr. Burkhorst is a high school social studies teacher teaching world history and college psychology and is also the high school student council advisor. Mr. Burkhorst shared this about Ben. Ben represents all 4 pillars of the National Honor Society membership well. He is a strong student who makes his academics his priority. Ben is an outstanding leader not only in the classroom and as a 3-sport athlete, but also in music, student council, and more. He serves others in his school, church, and community in many different ways. In all that he does, Ben's strong character shines through. He is a positive example for others, making our school and community better.
Riley Kurtz is the daughter of Austin and Ashley Kurtz. This evening, Riley will be pinned by Mrs. Hugendorn. Mrs. Hugendorn was Riley's 4th grade homeroom teacher and now teaches 6th grade English. When Mrs. Hugendorn was asked to share about Riley, she said, "Riley excels in and out of the classroom. She's a go-getter and involved in many activities, from hockey, softball, managing volleyball, to the BPA and CEO programs. You can also find her lifeguarding at the pool. I could see Riley's amazing leadership skills way back in 4th grade. The thing I love the most about Riley is her positive attitude and smile that lightens up a room.
Riley has an amazing heart, and with her kind attitude and leadership skills, she will do great things in our world.
Olivia Lund is the daughter of AJ and Susie Hall and Tony Lund. This evening, Olivia will be pinned by Mr. Januszewski. Mr. Januszewski is a high school math teacher, head cross-country coach, and head track and field coach. Mr. Januszewski stated the following about Olivia. Olivia is an outstanding leader who exhibits extraordinary character, whether in the classroom, in her activities, or in the community. She is an extremely hard worker who takes pride in everything she does. Olivia is a genuine, kind, loving, and strong young woman who never shies away from a challenge and is always willing to lead and lend a helping hand. She will do amazing things as her future unfolds.
Lucas Madison is the son of Melanie and Dennis Madison. This evening, he will be pinned by Mr. Bullerman. Mr. Bullerman teaches ag, and he's also the FFA advisor. Mr. Bullerman shared the following about Lucas. It is with great pride that I am pinned Lucas Madison for induction into the National Honor Society. He exemplifies the 4 pillars of NHS: scholarship, leadership, service, and character, in everything he does. As our FFA chapter president, Lucas leads by example, showing dedication, integrity, and enthusiasm that inspires those around him. He is always eager to build camaraderie within the chapter and encourage others to get involved, creating a positive and inclusive environment. In the classroom and in athletics, Lucas consistently gives his best effort, demonstrating an incredible work ethic, and a respectful attitude toward peers and teachers alike. His genuine kindness, commitment, and leadership make him a truly deserving candidate for this honor.
Charles Mosed is the son of Matt and Katie Mosed. This evening, he will be pinned by Mrs. Cook. Mrs. Cook is the 6th through 12th grade school counselor and the National Honor Society advisor. When asked to share about Charles, Mrs. Cook stated, "Charles is a student who truly encompasses the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. First and foremost, he is a student who excels to do his best in each and every course he takes. Charlie is also a leader to those around him in and out of the school throughout his work at Grace Lutheran Church and Laverne Student Council. He is also a student who is willing to serve others, especially through our peer tutoring program. He is willing to step up no matter what is asked of him. Finally, Charles shows the final pillar of character in all that he does. Due to situations out of his control, life has included some speed bumps for Charles. Instead of allowing the bumps to stop him, he worked through the good and bad days to excel on the other side of those bumps."
Cassidy Sarlos is the daughter of Jeremiah and Michelle Sarlos. This evening, Cassidy will be pinned by Mrs. Eitoven. Mrs. Eitoven teaches high school English. Mrs. Eitoven shared the following about Cassidy. Cassidy embodies the values of the National Honor Society through her leadership, perseverance, and dedication to others. She is a driven and caring leader who brings out the best in everyone around her. Always willing to serve and take on challenges, Cassidy approaches learning with curiosity, determination, and a desire to grow. Her humor, kindness, and inclusiveness make her a joy to be around and a true team player. With both heart and positivity, Cassidy inspires those around her through her actions and attitude.
Isabella Steensma is the daughter of Mark and Amanda Steensma. This evening, Isabella will be pinned by Mrs. Thorson. Mrs. Thorson teaches Spanish 1 through 3 and AP Spanish. When asked about Isabella, Mrs. Thorson shared the following. "It is a pleasure to support Izzy as she is inducted into the National Honor Society. Izzy brings genuine warmth and kindness into every space she enters, always seeking the good in others and creating a positive, welcoming atmosphere. She is a dependable and thoughtful student who consistently puts forth her best effort, never choosing the easy way out, whether in her class or in her extracurricular commitments. Izzy leads quietly and sincerely through her actions, keeping her word, supporting her peers, and upholding high expectations for herself. In her involvement in her church and community, it reflects her strong sense of service and character. Classmates and teammates alike are drawn to Izzy because she is accepting, generous, and truly authentic. She brings out the best in others, including me."
Connor Bose is the son of Mike and Jennifer Bose. This evening, Connor will be pinned by Mr. Sickmiller. Mr. Sickmiller is the high school business and computer teacher, head boys basketball coach, head boys golf coach, and the yearbook advisor. Mr. Sickmiller shared the following about Connor. Connor is a respectful and hardworking student who excels both in the classroom and in leadership roles. As a member of the Student Council and the CEO program, he has shown initiative and dedication. Having coached him, I can say he is one of the hardest workers I have ever coached. Connor is well respected by teachers and peers alike and embodies the qualities of scholarship, service, leadership, and character.
Jenna Bullerman is the daughter of Travis and Susan Bullerman. This evening, Jenna will be pinned by Mr. Nelson. Mr. Nelson teaches elementary physical education, is a girls basketball assistant coach, and an assistant track coach. Mr. Nelson stated the following about Jenna. Jenna exemplifies the true spirit of the National Honor Society through her commitment to scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Her intelligence and dedication to excellence reflect the pillar of scholarship as she approaches every challenge with determination. As a compassionate and caring individual, Jenna demonstrates service by always seeking ways to support and uplift those around her, whether through volunteering or simple acts of kindness. Her cooperative nature and ability to inspire others embody leadership as she encourages her peers to strive for their best. Jenna's integrity, empathy, and sense of responsibility showcase her outstanding character.
Tyler Hodge is the son of Tim and Stephanie Hodge. This evening, Tyler will be pinned by Mr. Winiger. Mr. Winiger teaches 9 through 12 physical education, is a football coach, and is the weight room advisor. When asked to share about Tyler, Mr. Winiger stated, Tyler gets along well with everyone and has the ability to lead diverse groups toward a common goal. He is a determined young man destined for great accomplishments, a true pathfinder who accepts responsibility and holds himself, as well as those around him, accountable. He is an outstanding candidate for the National Honor Society and all that it represents.
Jaden Johnson is the son of Ryan and Charlotte Johnson. This evening, Jaden will be pinned by Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber teaches 9th grade science and is also the JV boys basketball coach. Mr. Weber shared the following about Jaden. Jaden displays all of the qualities that a leader in a community should have. He has been a continual learner, an example for others, and an academic scholar in the classroom. He has displayed traits that show what it means to be successful by working through failures to meet goals. On many occasions, he has sought out being helpful to others who are in need either in the classroom or extracurriculars. His ability to balance not taking things too seriously while also understanding when it is time to focus on the important task is exceptional and has a great influence on others around.
Adeline Rodriguez is the daughter of Katia and Luis Rodriguez. This evening, Adeline will be pinned by Miss Solly. Miss Solly teaches 11th and 12th grade English. When asked to share about Adeline, Miss Solly stated, Adeline exemplifies the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. She works hard in class with an enthusiastic growth mindset, always striving to improve her skills. She demonstrates her leadership and service through her active participation in many positive activities, always with a smile and an energetic spring in her step. Her character shines through her kindness and integrity. It is a joy to know her and to see her initiated into the National Honor Society.
Ella Schmuck is the daughter of Corey and Sarah Schmuck. This evening, Ella will be pinned by Mr. Newgard. Mr. Newgard teaches middle school physical education, is a football coach, and the head coach of the girls' basketball team. Mr. Newgard stated the following about Ella. Ella is an exemplary member of our school and basketball team, known for her outstanding work ethic and selfless attitude. She consistently puts in the extra effort to improve her skills and encourages her teammates to do the same, prioritizing the success of the team over personal accolades. As a servant leader, she leads by example, fostering unity and camaraderie through team building activities and maintaining a positive atmosphere even on challenging days. Her commitment to the team ensures that every member feels valued and supported, making her not only a remarkable athlete, but also a true role model for her peers.
Congratulations to the 2025 Laverne National Honor Society inductees. We would now like to invite Hannah Woodley to the lectern to introduce our speaker for the evening.
Thank you, Anna and Julia. It is my pleasure to introduce tonight's speaker, Canute Oldry. Canute Oldry is a proud graduate of Laverne High School, class of 2017, and a lifetime resident of Laverne. After earning a degree from St. Olaf College in quantitative economics and environmental studies, he returned home to Laverne to continue building a career and a life rooted in service. Canute now works as an ag and commercial lender at the Security Savings Bank in Laverne. Today, Canute is actively involved in our community, serving on several local boards and organizations, volunteering with LIFT, the Rock County Historical Society, Rotary, Pheasants Forever, the Community Foundation, Minnesota Boys State, Southwest RSDP, the Sons of the Legion, and his church, among others. All working to make a positive impact right here where it all began. Please join me in welcoming Canute Oldry.
All right, thank you for that introduction, Hannah. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you to the faculty, to the administrators, to the National Honor Society advisor, Mrs. Cook, families, and of course, the students being honored tonight. It truly is a privilege for me to be here. And to our inductees, I say congratulations. Being welcomed into the National Honor Society is not only a recognition of what you've achieved, but a vote of confidence in the kind of person you're becoming. About 11 years ago, I sat as a sophomore. Yeah, we used to induct sophomores, same night, I know. I sat right where you are for an awards night, which served as our National Honor Society induction at the time. Well, I say in the same place, but we were in the little theater, and I'll tell you as one alumni and for all the alumni in the crowd, you guys have a big upgrade. We're just a little jealous. At the time, I was about as nervous as some of you, hoping I wouldn't trip on the steps or drop one of the candles, which at the time were real flames, and in the creosote soaked of the little theater, that was dangerous. The National Honor Society was not as significant as what you all have built now. There was not a presentation of teachers, and it was all part of the broader awards night. But I still remember the moment and the sense that it was more than a piece of paper and a pin being handed to me. At the time, of course, I didn't really know what it meant. Back then, we didn't have meetings or activities or spend any time on the pillars of what National Honor Society stands for. But tonight, I want to share with you a little bit of what I've learned since then. Not because I have it all figured out, I most certainly do not, but because I want you to see what you're starting here. The habits and values that you're already demonstrating truly matter. As far as I can tell, I'm the youngest person ever to give this address, and that's a real point of pride for me. But I really hope one of you breaks that record in the near future. A little background on myself. Hannah did a nice job. After graduating from Laverne, I went to St. Olaf College in Northfield, planning to prepare for law school and leave Laverne in my rearview mirror. Like so many recent graduates, I did not see at all what made home special. I came home to Hunt or for family holidays during the fall of my freshman year, or really just because my parents' washing machine was free. But I was ready to head back quickly those Sunday afternoons. During my time at Olaf, I had the opportunity to meet people from all 50 states, over 31 countries, study a dozen unique subject matters, and study abroad in Ireland for a semester, living with 5 women from France, Hungary, China, and Boston. You'll never guess which one had the worst attitude. But the world became a lot bigger for me as I was fortunate enough to explore lots of places around Europe and the United States. But also a lot smaller as I realized all of us are seeking the same community in some form or another. Then came a global pandemic. It was the 16th of March in my junior year when the email came, we'd all be sent home for 2 short weeks. We celebrated that day, partly because it was St. Patrick's Day, and partly because we thought we were getting an early spring break that we'd regroup from with stories to tell in April. Little did we know most of us would never live together, go to class together, or even see each other ever again. I moved home into my parents' basement quickly thereafter and learned right along with all of us what Zoom, asynchronous, and muted mics were. 5 years after coming home, I see parts of that challenging time as a blessing in disguise. After moving back to Laverne, I started back at the bank where I'd worked as a summer intern, and I was forced, or really stumbled, into leading a loan program regarding to some pandemic money, which propelled me into the career I have today. Now I work as an ag and commercial lender here in Laverne, and with that I get to provide capital to over 200 producers, small businesses, and individuals right here in and around Rock County. I get to experience so much of that same community I sought out around the country and around the world as I witness people rally around our neighbors in times of illness or disaster, extend that helping hand in times of hardship, celebrate the joys of first homes and first cars, support the sorrows of crop loss or financial struggles. You know, banking is an often made fun of profession, and we really do deserve it. But it's awarded me the opportunity to experience so much more of our region than people realize it can offer. Maybe I didn't return at first by choice, but now I remain in this community without a second thought. And I charge all of you here tonight to consider, as you move forward through your lives, where that community is for you. Maybe it is Laverne, maybe it's London or Los Angeles or Lincoln, Nebraska, but I know everyone has a community out there for them. But the reason you're here tonight is not my sales pitch to try and keep this local talent local, but rather how the National Honor Society has given you a roadmap to finding that community and being a positive contributor to it. There are 4 pillars, of which you've already heard tonight, which give you guidance as a National Honor Society member. First, with scholarship. Scholarship is not just your homework or your tests, but the lifelong pursuit of becoming a fuller person. I like to play trivia downtown, first Thursday of the month, hosted by our local library. And I think it's fair to say I truly have a lot of useless knowledge. But real scholarship is listening to that farmer in why he's taking steps towards soil health. A nursing home resident sharing with you their outlook on 9 decades on this earth. Reviewing a budget proposal with recent graduates living on their own for the first time, or intentionally seeking out that viewpoint different than your own. The National Honor Society that scholarship sends you forth for is to pursue the knowledge you want to understand the world better so you can make our world better. Come this spring, many of you will receive significant awards through the Laverne Dollars for Scholars program. As you're sitting in this same space, I want you to do 2 things for me. First, really listen to the magnitude of those gifts and think how much this community and those who have gone away from it value scholarships to such a degree that they would endow millions of dollars back into all of you. But also in that pursuit of knowledge, I want you to try and reach out to at least one of the scholarships you receive and go beyond just thanking them, which you should do for all of them, but ask them why they gave to Dollars for Scholars and why they value that kind of a gift. I think you'll be amazed with the answers that you'll receive. My brother and I were fortunate enough to be recipients of sizable gifts at our graduation here from Laverne, and we chose to endow a perpetual scholarship of our own at ages of 19 and 22 because we really do value that pursuit of scholarship in all its forms. Next is leadership, probably the most discussed, taught, and seminared of all the pillars. Many of you have attended leadership events, listened to speakers, or even read a guidebook. But think to yourself, who was the last person you really wanted to follow? Who was the last person you would have followed on a whim, changed a plan for, or willingly did something you didn't want to do? Leadership is discussed and written about time and time again. However, my years at LHS, in college, and in the workforce, I see it distilled down to 2 key factors: the principles of dispersed credit and concentrated blame. I'm sure many of you have already experienced that coworker, classmate, or friend who's just the opposite. Someone who's quick to take all the praise for what is right, but blame others for what is wrong. Now widely looked favorably upon, but not so much at the time, President Harry S. Truman popularized the saying, "The buck stops here," by placing a slogan as a little sign in his Oval Office. The phrase has now grown into a meaning of its own with time, but at its core, it really reflects the idea that a leader's role is to hold that final ace, which also means to hold the burden in failure. In the Truman Presidential Library in Independence, Missouri, a significant portion of the museum is dedicated to his decision to drop the bomb to end World War II. Regardless of your opinions of the action, the museum does well to highlight throughout his post-presidency, Truman articulated time and time again the decision to drop the bomb, right or wrong, was his and his alone. That history should judge him, not the makers, the pilots, or the commanders of the day, but instead praise their contributions to America. The president and the commander-in-chief bore all responsibility. The buck stopped with him. While I hope none of you are forced with a challenge nearly as significant as President Truman, I charge each of you here today to go forward thinking about how, in your daily life, you can credit at least one other person when something goes right, however small, and reflect internally when something goes wrong. Moving on, the next pillar, the National Honor Society does not pick favorite pillars, but I'll tell you service is the most important one. Communities do not work without service. Without knowing it, you were born into or moved into a town with a tremendous tradition of service here in Laverne. Quickly after returning and reestablishing myself, I was asked to serve on a number of boards and community organizations. I struggled to say no, as I still do, and I peaked at a collection of 15 total groups just here in Laverne. There came a time when that service burned me out. Hannah did a nice job reading off a lot of the ones I've stayed involved in, but it tires you out. So I can't stress to you enough how important it is to overlap your service with your passions. So often in service, we focus on greatest impact or even greatest publicity. But I assure you, if your service is a blend of your talents, your interests, and your connection to the community, the work will complete itself, and people will notice. As an example, I love what Habitat for Humanity does, but ask me to swing a hammer, and the ER visit becomes guaranteed. I was asked to serve on the Tri-State Band Festival here in Laverne, not because I can play an instrument. In fact, I'll let you know, in 8th grade, Mary Goheen had me play whole notes on a bass drum because my saxophone skills were an insult to the art. Nonetheless, I work in the tabulation center, automating spreadsheets and following the numbers, which, if you couldn't tell by the thick glasses, is kind of my thing. So maybe you love football and you volunteer to ref flag football games, or maybe you love technology and you're willing to put on a digital safety course for seniors. Service is not limited in its scope, but a boundless opportunity for more engagement within your community. And rounding us out is character, the silent push behind the other three pillars. Your character is what drives you to serve, what allows you to lead, and what encourages that scholastic spirit. Character is not simply life as a good person. It's the actions taken in silence. Tonight is a night about each of you. Remember, people may admire your achievements, but they will trust you because of your integrity. You were selected based on character, and you showed it in a variety of different ways. The teachers seated here selected you based not only on what you do, but more importantly, in what you can bring to the table. You're already leaders. The National Honor Society recognizes that. But what you do after today will define the legacy you leave. One more challenge. Use your talents here, in your community that I hope many of you can develop the same passion for as I hold in time. Don't wait to make your impact. Start now. Thank you again for inviting me tonight, and I wish you all the best on your journeys ahead. A true congratulations on your achievement, and never stop sharing your gifts with those around you. Thank you.
Knut, thank you for joining us this evening and sharing a great message with everyone. Mrs. Cook, NHS advisor, will now share closing remarks.
This concludes our National Honor Society induction for this evening. I would again like to congratulate all the new members of the Laverne National Honor Society. I would also like to thank each of you for not only coming tonight, but also for making an impact on all of these students' educational journey thus far. Also, thank you to Knut for joining us this evening and sharing such an impactful message with us. Each of you is invited to stay for light refreshments this evening. Members, please stay in the front for large group pictures, and thank you again for joining us, and have a great evening.